A local girl's generosity is helping kids at an Edmonton hospital. Plus, highway etiquette. We find out why flashing your high beam could get you ticketed.
This is Newcap News.
Good afternoon and thank you for joining us. To our top story, the Lloydminster Rescue Squad has been deployed to northern Saskatchewan to aid in the search for a missing young man. It will be an arduous task, no doubt, but the squad is getting some assistance from its canine members. Darcy Robchan has details.
Captain Ryan LeBlanc and members of the Lloydminster Rescue Squad are lending their services to northern Saskatchewan RCMP.
We fly in tomorrow morning. We're departing the Lloydminster Airport tomorrow morning. We fly in and we're going to be meeting with the local RCMP and the search team that is currently up there right now.
The area they're tasked with searching is a cold and punishing terrain. It's a search that takes a lot of preparation.
Your everyday amenities aren't available to you, so we have to plan for food, water for our search team. We have to make sure that we have a adequate amount of supplies for the dog.
It's a tough job to go into a remote community and search, but Ryan and his team are getting some help from the squad's search dogs.
We've had the dog out in Saskatchewan earlier in the year, and Lloyd Rescue was instrumental in helping to locate a missing person that went into the river.
Lava is one of the dogs embarking on this mission. She's been training with her handler Stacy since she was 3 months old.
She's 3 years old now. We just start off slowly with just games of trying to find people and getting a toy as their reward.
Stacy and her dog have a tough job ahead of them.
It can be interesting. Sometimes we're intense. Sometimes we're in just barracks or things like that. Other times we do get the comforts of a hotel, but not very often.
Although a missing person search can be a grim task, for Lava, searching is just a game.
She's absolutely wild and crazy about her toy that she gets for a reward at the end for her find, and yet she just has fun with it.
Darcy Robchan, Newcap News.
Children spending their nights at the Stollery will be able to sleep a little more sound over the holidays thanks to Lloydminster's Olivia Brockhoff. Kira Lyons explains.
When Olivia was only 12 years old, her desire and drive to make a difference in the world led her to creating Project PJ.
3 years ago, my friend's sister was sick, and she's all better now, but she was complaining about how gross the PJs were and how they weren't comfortable and cold. So I thought, hey, this would be a nice surprise for everybody.
She said to me, Mom, I want to talk to you about something, and it's really important. And I was like, oh, okay. What is it? And she said, I haven't done enough to change the world. And I said, oh, what do you have in mind? And she said, I want to donate 100 pairs of pajamas to the sick kids at the Stollery.
Each year, she's collected more than the last, starting off at 600 pairs and reaching over 1,200 last year.
You see those little kids in those pajamas or those letters from those parents, and then you really get like, wow, this is actually something that it's bigger than just a pair of pajamas.
But I've gotten cards and pictures. Their parents will send us pictures, and it's really nice.
Although it is a lot of work, it's been an amazing project for both the Stollery and Olivia.
I think for her, it's shown her that an idea that's so small can become so big and affect more people than just yourself.
And they're so happy, and they're saying how happy the kids are, and it's just a great feeling.
Drop-off sites are Wayside Dental Center, Altasask Wellness, and Meridian Surveys. Or you can contact Olivia on Facebook at Project PJ by Olivia.
To know that even if you're 12 years old, you can change the world, and I think she has.
Kira Lyons, Newcap News.
To other news now, it's something many of us have done. If we are driving and an oncoming car has its high beams on, we flash our lights to alert the other driver. Well, a High River man did exactly that, and as Global's Tony Teague reports, he's now facing a hefty traffic fine.
This is ridiculous. $155 because I high-beamed you for less than a second.
Jeff McClanagan still can't believe he got a ticket for flashing his high beams at an oncoming car. Monday night he was driving on Center Street in High River. His dash cam was on and it shows a car with bright lights, and he thought the high beams were on.
As I got closer, I flicked my high beams on myself just to kind of give them a heads up that, hey, you got your high beams on, shut them off. And as we got closer, or as we passed, I realized that it was the sheriff.
The sheriff pulled him over and gave him a ticket for failing to use low beams when an oncoming vehicle is within 300 meters.
You know, if I deserved a ticket truly, I'd stand up and take the punishment that was due, but this is, I think, a little excessive.
Charlie Pester has been defending drivers for traffic tickets for over 30 years, and this one surprised him.
I haven't seen one. We got to be talking more than a decade, I think. Yeah, it's a long time.
He says it's not worth hiring a defender since the ticket doesn't carry demerits. Alberta Justice says the driver has the option of paying the fine or going to court to plead his case. They say the same standard of proof that applies in criminal cases applies in traffic cases. The Crown must prove the offense beyond a reasonable doubt, and said it would be inappropriate to comment.
I don't know. I kind of think it's a little bizarre, but I mean, I don't know. It's really up to the person, though, right?
It's a tricky one. I've had people with their high beams behind me, and I can't see when I'm driving, so it's, I guess it depends on the situation.
Jeff McClanagan says he asked the sheriff if his high beams were on and says he was told no, they're just that type of light. He plans to fight the ticket with his dash cam evidence.
This is Newcap weather.
Good afternoon. We saw quite a bit of snowfall overnight, and that's still blowing around right now. Midnight we hit -10, felt more like -17. Taking a look now at your current temperatures, -9 in Lloydminster, feeling more like -16 in the region. Those winds are blowing around the snow. Current conditions in Lloydminster, like I said, -9. Cold Lake, -8 with some cloud cover in both those areas. Battleford sitting at -7. Still some light flurry action in that area. Looking around to the regional temperatures, Lac La Biche -7, Cold Lake a little bit colder, -8, Bonnyville -6, St. Paul -7, Edmonton a little bit warmer in -6, Vegreville Vermilion -7, Provost Macklin, North Battleford sitting at -7. Looking now to your temperatures for the high, Cold Lake -5, trying to get there. Lloydminster maybe getting up to -7. That wind is still going to be blowing around the snow, making for some slick conditions. And in the Battlefords, -6 for the daytime high. We'll share more details later in the show.
And still to come, a 2-year court battle has ended with a victory for the Saskatchewan Compassion Club. More after this break.
When you see news happening, let us know. Grab your phone and hit record and become part of the Newcap News team. It could make you $100 richer. If you capture news happening, drop us an email at tvnews@newcap.ca.
Welcome back. A major win for the Saskatchewan Compassion Club after a 2-year battle with the courts. Now on Thursday, the federal crown withdrew all charges laid against employees of the unlicensed medical marijuana dispensary after the storefront was raided in 2015. Global's Megan Craig has this story.
A monumental victory for an unlicensed medical marijuana dispensary known as the Saskatchewan Compassion Club. On Thursday in court, Crown prosecutors dropped all charges against individual employees who operated the company and were arrested following a police raid in 2015. In exchange, the club itself pleaded guilty to 1 count of trafficking the sale of cannabis to its membership, all of whom were medical patients.
Give it 3 years' time, probably we'll see legal storefronts filling the capacity of medical access, so there will be no need for municipalities to tolerate illegal dispensaries, but until such time we'll see them continue to proliferate for sure.
In 2016, the Crown had its hand forced and dropped charges against the accused even then. Charges that were related to marijuana derivatives or oils.
The reason that was done is because of the Supreme Court of Canada decision of R versus Smith. It was not illegal for the defendants at the time of the incidents to be in possession of the marijuana derivatives.
Along with the guilty plea, the company has to pay a $6,500 fine, plus a victim fine surcharge of $1,950. The Saskatoon Police Service says it's pleased this case has concluded as well.
We just want to let the public know that it doesn't change our mandate to enforce the laws of Canada. Dispensaries that are not operating under the approval of Health Canada are doing so illegally. And it is our position, as it is among many law enforcement agencies across the country, that we need to continue to enforce those laws.
The Compassion Club now operates out of Victoria, assisting sick and terminally ill patients via mail order, and hasn't ruled out returning to Saskatoon.
I've had some interesting discussions the last couple of days, so I think maybe stay tuned for a storefront opening in Saskatoon sometime in the near future here again. Yeah.
Megan Craig, Global News.
Well, back at home now, the Remembrance Day long weekend is here. We're looking at several events planned, and Heather Clagus gives us details in this week's edition of What's Happening.
Tomorrow is Remembrance Day, and communities across the area are hosting services so that you can head out and pay your respects to those who have fought for our freedom. If you're in the Lashburn area, the community hall is where services will be held. If you're in Frenchman Butte at the Legion, that's where their services are. And if you're here in Lloydminster, they're going to be at Lloyd Comp High School. All the services get underway at 10:45 a.m. tomorrow. Coming up next Saturday night in Paradise Valley, there's going to be a fundraiser for the Climb Through Time Museum. They're going to be hosting an evening with the Heebie-Jeebie Singers. They're going to have delicious appetizers, dessert as well, plus a silent auction. If you want to get your tickets, you can stop by ATB Financial in Paradise Valley or in Lloydminster. We want you to start off your weekend by winning. We've got a copy of Incubus's latest album, 8. It includes their hit singles, State of the Art and Glitter Bomb. If you want a copy, it's really easy. All you have to do is email your name and daytime phone number to tvcontest@newcap.ca. We want to say thanks to John at Universal Music Canada for setting us up with the music. And Mistletoe Magic is underway this weekend at the Service Sports Centre. You can check it out tomorrow or Sunday. Well, whatever you choose to do this weekend, I hope you have a great one. I'm Heather Clagus, and that's what's happening.
That's all the time we have for news right now. Sports is next. Do stay with us.
This is New Cap Sports.
In sports, first-year players can be a detriment to AJHL teams trying to make a run at a league championship, but with good coaching, those same players can be key contributors. The Bonnyville Pontiacs are one team with a plethora of young talent, but the work of their veterans is what's helping them move up the standings. Lance Phillips tells us about one player who's beginning to turn heads.
The Pontiacs are a successful team of late. 3 straight wins has moved Bonnyville into 5th place in the AJHL North, and that success has been due in large part to the performance of PJ Morocco. The Edmonton native was named Player of the Week by the AJHL, an honor that's well-deserved considering he's the leader in both league scoring and Viterra Cup standings. It's 2 often overlooked aspects of his game attributing to his accomplishments.
I think just moving my feet and working hard. Those are the 2 biggest things I think you need to have in this league is moving your feet and just working hard, and good things will happen.
He wants to be a player. He's receptive to coaching, and he's the first one out in practice. He's the first one showing up here. He's the last one off in practices. He's trying to get better every single day, and he understands that if his success is dependent upon him, he wants to make sure it's taken care of, and no one's more deserving than that honor than him.
But team success isn't fully determined by a single player, a fact Morocco knows well. Although he's making other players better, those other players are also helping him achieve new milestones.
Just keeping it simple and using my strengths. I think they know that I like to shoot the puck, and I have to get open, and they'll find me. And right now, me, Brownie, and Charlie are just we're clicking, and it's really nice to watch.
He comes into a situation this year with the Bonnyville Pontiacs that have a plan in place, and we're going to go with a younger group of smart character hockey players it's a tough thing for a 20-year-old to adjust, thinking that, well, it's my last year of junior. Now I got to take this added mentorship role with these young kids and still worry about my own game.
It doesn't matter who you're playing with. Great guys on this team, and it's just making it easy and fun to play.
Morocco's defining qualities have been on display all season, and by season's end, those qualities may earn him a scoring title, but more importantly, a college-level contract. Lance Phillips, New Cap Sports, Bonnyville.
Well, turning to agriculture, with harvest over and snow on the ground, it's a good time to catch up, but that can be difficult for farm families. In this week's Agriculture Report, we speak to a farm family coach who is encouraging producers to make time for their significant other.
The first thing I would do is take a nap and get some good sleep.
Farm family coach Elaine Frey says she knows one family that has a bonfire to celebrate the end of harvest. She says producers need to get good physical, emotional, and mental care. Once you are in a better place, then you can reconnect with your spouse, family, and the significant people in your life.
Self-renewing people tend to be value-driven, so they're aligned with their core values, and they do things that are aligned with that. So one of my core values would be intimacy, which is to be loved, to love and be loved. And so I'm having a party here tomorrow that's a potluck.
Frey is a published author and speaker dealing with topics like succession planning and farm legacy. She has been married to her husband Wesley for 36 years. They have 2 children and 1 granddaughter. They run a 5,000-acre seed farm in Boissevain, Manitoba.
So if I'm under a lot of stress, I can tell my husband, look, I'm having a really tough time today. I didn't get a good sleep, which was true 2 nights ago when we were combining all through the night to try and finish the corn, and I delivered breakfast to the fields at 6 in the morning.
Frey says at those times you need to cut each other some slack. She also refers to author John Gottman and what he calls making quick repair. Also for farm families, that your body is not a machine, you need release and to be present for your spouse.
And so asking for what you need is really important. Like, I will ask my husband all the time or often for a hug because I come from a very physical, affectionate family. He did not, and I like to be hugged. So if I need a hug, I don't expect him to read my mind.
Frey emphasizes this in her seminars that love does not read minds. A key issue is that farming is not like an 8-to-4 job, and it takes a relationship counselor with a sensitivity to that dynamic to understand farm family stress and how tension builds during the growing season.
If I created a marriage retreat for farm couples, would you come? And I already have 2 people signed up, and they said, Elaine, what we're having difficulty with is that when we go for counseling, people just don't understand the culture of agriculture.
Frey also reminds producers to ask for help. In her own situation, she has benefited from this as her husband had a serious accident this season and is still mending at home with help from the community. The bottom line is to carve out time in your farm schedule to get connected again.
I have gone on walks with my husband at midnight down the road with a flashlight, which sounds funny, but it was fun.
This Ag Report is brought to you by the Lloydminster Co-op Agro Center. Depend on them for product, tools, and expert advice. Shop at your local Lloyd Co-op Agro Center with branch locations in Lashburn and Neilburg.
All right, welcome back. We are still seeing partly cloudy in the area. We are going to be going on a slight warming trend, but don't get too excited. It is very slight. Into some snowfall later next week. Looking now at our satellite radar, we are seeing some precipitation, but that's mainly missing our area, which is great. Looking to our temperatures tomorrow, Lac La Biche, -3, Bonnyville, Cold Lake area, Pearceland, -5, lower into Edmonton, -1 in the area. Turning now to Marwayne, Vermilion, and Wainwright, -6. Provost, Macklin, North Battleford sitting at -4. And again, up to the north, -4. Pair of -4s for Isla Cross and Green Lake, and Meadow Lake sitting at -5. Currently in the Battleford sitting at -7, or just changed there, -8. Some light snow action still in the area, -15 overnight. Some clouds, but that will start to break up tomorrow for Remembrance Day. -7, mostly sunny there tomorrow. Cold Lake currently sitting at -7, cloudy in the area, which will continue overnight, -13. But those clouds will be breaking into tomorrow, -5, with some sun and clouds, winds out of the south-southwest for Remembrance Day. Lloydminster, currently, it's not really snowing. It's more blowing from the winds that we're seeing, up to 24 an hour. Those wind chills making us feel more like -16. Overnight, going to feel like -17. -7 tomorrow for Remembrance Day. Looking at our 7-day forecast, -8 on Sunday. Monday, -2, so that is where our slight warming trend is, but as you can see in our 7-day forecast, -7 on Tuesday with some cloud, which is going to continue all the way till Thursday. Wednesday, overnight is when we could see that snowfall, possibly up to 8 centimeters. -8 there. -11 on Thursday, still going to continue that snow, and to finish it off Friday at -14 with a low of -21.
Hey, Michaela, I'm tempted to ask, how was that for you?
How was the anchoring for you? We've switched today.
I think it was pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad, not bad. But
I'm liking your weather. You've introduced a warming trend for a couple days.
Yeah, just a couple days, and then we get more snow.
Every day we shovel.
And don't blame me. Now I know it's not my fault.
All right. Let's see what else we can share with you in this hour. Now, a British surfer is recovering in hospital after wiping out on a massive wave. Have a peek here. So Andrew Cotton was surfing in the Atlantic near Nazar, Portugal, when he was overwhelmed by a huge 18-meter, we're talking 60 feet. So the wave sent him flying. Cotton suffered a fractured spine, but is expected to make a full recovery. He is seen here giving a thumbs up from his hospital bed. And like all surfers, he will ride again.
Yeah, what? He just in good spirits after fracturing his spine?
Yikes.
I would not be given the thumbs up after an injury like that.
Oh, I think folks like that, they know where they get it off to for sure.
Yeah, no kidding. That is, well, if he's going to ride again, good for him.
Good for him. That's where we leave it in this hour. Do have a great afternoon.